22nd December 2021, National Mathematics Day, is the 134th birth anniversary of Sreesaraswathy, one of the greatest mathematicians in India. This legendary mathematician was born in 1887 in Erode, situated in Tamil Nadu. He pioneered many interesting contributions to the modern mathematics world, including infinite series and number theory. He fascinated the modern mathematicians by giving value of pi in the most unconventional ways. To honor him, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh declared 22nd December as National Mathematics Day from 2012 onwards.
It is without doubt that mathematics today owes a huge debt to the outstanding contribution made by Indian mathematicians over many hundreds of years. What is quite surprising is that there has been a reluctance to recognize this, and one has to conclude that many famous historians of mathematics found what they expected to find, or perhaps even what they hoped to find, rather than to realize what was so clear in front of them. Indian classical period is often considered as the golden period for Indians in terms of science, technology, mathematics, astronomy, and so on. Restricting us to mathematics, people like Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, Bhaskara I and II, Mahamira were born in this period and had made immense contributions in the field of mathematics and astronomy. It was Bauthayana, an ancient Indian mathematician, who discovered Pythagoras' theorem. Bauthayana listed Pythagoras' theorem in his book called Bauthayana Sulabha Sutra. This might come as a surprise to many, but it is true that Pythagoras' theorem was known much before Pythagoras. Aryabhatta was the first major mathematician, astronomer from classical age of Indian mathematics and Indian astronomy. His works include Aryabhatiya, Aryasiddhanta. For his explicit mention of the relativity of motion, he also qualifies as an early physicist. Brahmagupta was an Indian mathematician and astronomer. He is the author of two early works on mathematics and astronomy. He was the first to give rules to compute with zero. Mahavira was 8th century Indian mathematician from Gulbarga who asserted that the square root of negative number did not exist. He wrote Ganitha Sara Sangraha, which is the first textbook on arithmetic present day form. The modern period of mathematics was characterized by the comprehensive and systematic synthesis of mathematical knowledge. It is remarkable for its uncovering of deep structural phenomena and the generalization, unification, and synthesis of all of mathematics. Ramanujan is perhaps the most famous modern Indian mathematician. Though he produced significant and beautiful results in many aspects of number theory, his more lasting discovery may be the arithmetic theory of modular forms. Shakuntala Devi was an Indian mathematician, writer, and mental calculator, popularly known as human computer. Her talent earned her a place in 1982 edition of the Guinness World Book of Records. Dattacharya Ramachandra Kaprekar was an Indian recreational mathematician who described several classes of natural numbers, including the Kaprekar Harshad and self numbers, and discovered the Kaprekar constant, named after him. To summarize, the main reason for the neglection of Indian mathematics seemed to be religious, cultural, and psychological. At the very least, it must be hoped that the history of Indian mathematics will, in time, become as highly as regarded.
Srinivasa Ramanuja Iyengar was born on 22nd December 1887, was an Indian mathematician who lived during the British rule in India. Though he had almost no formal training in pure mathematics, he made substantial contributions to mathematical analysis, number theory, infinite series, and continued fractions, including solutions to mathematical problems that considered unsolvable. Ramanujan initially developed his own mathematical research in isolation. He tried to impress the leading professional mathematicians in his work but failed for the most part. What he had to show them was too novel, too unfamiliar, and additionally presented in unusual ways. They could not be bothered. Seeking mathematicians who could better understand his work, in 1913 he began a postal correspondence with the English mathematician G.H. Hardy at the University of Cambridge, England. Recognizing Ramanujan's work as extraordinary, Hardy arranged for him to travel to Cambridge In his notes, Hardy commented that Ramanujan had produced groundbreaking new theorems, including some that defeated me completely. I had never seen anything in the least like them before, and some recently proven but highly advanced results. The man who knew infinity. Srinivasa Ramanujan is a man whose contributions to the field of mathematics are unmatchable. Furthermore, experts in mathematics worldwide all recognize his tremendous worth. Most noteworthy, Srinivasa Ramanujan made his country proud at a time when India was still under British occupation. So we celebrate National Mathematics Day on 22nd December every year to remember his contributions to mathematics field.
We could see each grain, each particle. You see, there are patterns in everything.
Integrals, infinite series.
I've never seen anything like them. From an Indian clerk, ill-educated in Madras, I would very highly value any advice you give me.
Letter for you. Postmarked England.
Are you Ramanujan by chance? Oh, don't be intimidated. Great knowledge comes from the humblest of origins.
But I'm here to publish. The letter only contained a small sampling of my discoveries.
This will take a lifetime.
Maybe two.
We need proofs of your work.
But they are right, sir.
I hadn't completed that proof. How do you know?
I just do.
You don't pull a stunt like that in my class.
Now get out!
How did you know that theorem?
It came to me. These steps you want, I do not know how to do.
Where do you think you're going? This is our home.
Don't you know what I've given up to be here? I have nothing.
It's I who owe you.
The Man Who Knew Infinity by Robert KANIGEL. Robert KANIGEL is an American biographer and science writer known as the author of the 7 books and more than 400 articles, essays, and reviews. One of his most remarkable books is The Man Who Knew Infinity, which tells this extraordinary tale assessing the legacy of a man whose work contains some of the most beautiful sights in the history of science and whose major papers are still being plumbed for their secrets today. The Man Who Knew Infinity is a fascinating biography of the brilliant self-taught Indian mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan. It's also a history of the astonishing, fruitful cross-cultural collaboration between this young, ill-educated mathematical genius and his mentor at Cambridge University, G.H. Hardy. A relationship that turned the world of mathematics upside down before it withered and died through a combination of Indian bureaucratic short-sightedness, supervision, English spiritual asceticism, and the First World War. The book offers a detailed, even exhaustive account of Ramanujan's upbringing in India, his contribution to the field of mathematics, and his collaboration with the British professor G.H. Hardy at Cambridge University during the early 20th century. As a reader and a maths student, this book has inspired me inside out. Mr. KANIGEL not only precisely illustrated the life of Srinivasa Ramanujan, but also provides the reader with perspective insights into the two main protagonists, their culture and interactions. One of the salient quotes from this book is, "We are merely explorers of the infinity in the pursuit of absolute perfection" by G.H. Hardy. I would strongly recommend this book to those who love and are curious about mathematics and Srinivasa Ramanujan. This book will definitely keep you amusing and diverting from the beginning to the end. Thank you.
Abstract algebra definition. In algebra, which is a broad division of mathematics, abstract algebra, occasionally called modern algebra, is a study of algebraic structures. Algebraic structures include groups, rings, fields, modulus, vector spaces, lattice, and algebras. About. The term abstract algebra was coined in early 20th century to distinguish the area of study from older parts of algebra and more specifically from elementary algebra, the use of variables to represent number in computation and reasoning. Roughly speaking, abstract algebra is a study of what happens when certain properties of number systems are abstracted out. Applications. Because of its generality, abstract algebra is used in many fields of mathematics and science. For instance, algebraic topology uses algebraic objects to study topologies. In physics, groups are used to represent symmetry operations, and the usage of group theory could simplify differential equations.
Statistics. Statistics is a branch of mathematics that deals with the collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. Father of statistics is Ronald Fisher. The fundamental principles of statistics were developed by the biologist Ronald Fisher, who lived in England during the last century. His studies in statistics led to the synthesis of Darwin's theory of evolution and modern genetics. Types of statistics. There are two types of statistics. First one is descriptive statistics, used to describe the basic features of data in a study. It's about two types, measure of central tendency and measure of dispersion. Another one is inferential statistics, used to make judgment, observe difference between groups, draw inferences. Applications of statistics. In economics, it is used to formulation of economic policies. In finance, helps in value at risk, stock market derivative. In insurance, based on concept of probability. In operations, inventory.
In mathematics, topology deals with geometric objects which are with continuous deformation, such as stretching but not tearing. It is also known as elastic geometry. Mathematically, topology is a set with a lot of subsets. Subsets interchange with each other without replace or eliminate any elements. It was found by Renard Euler in the 19th century with practical examples. It has many applications in our daily life. In biology, it is used in knot theory, and a branch of topology is used to cut DNA without any twisting in location. In geography, basic topology is used to detect earthquakes, change in path length and cluster of coefficient, and in Hairy-Ball theorem, it is used to calculate speed and eye of cyclone. In robotics, it is used to know the position of robot, area of motion planning, and parts of joints.
Being the basis for pretty much the entirety of human development, numbers, shapes, and their relations intrigued us since time immemorial. Also, it goes without saying the extent to which India has been influencing the world of mathematics. We completely understand that the field of mathematics is way beyond the scope of this video. But what we are trying to achieve is to let everyone know about the legendary mathematicians of our country and to generate a greater interest for mathematics in everyone. Because for anyone to generate a greater interest in mathematics, all it takes is to stay curious and to approach the problems of our life in a logical and unbounded thinking model. Thank you.